Right, can you guys hear me okay? So, before we started, it's interesting, Yurko made a comment about identity and is heritage important? And he said he thinks it is. I also think it is. I'm just curious, in this group here, how many people identify themselves as Ukrainian? Hands. The most. How many people identify as Lemko? About half. Maybe 3/4. And how many people identify as Rusin? Not so many, but probably earlier one. Yeah, but probably earlier today it was probably more of a mix. So, as you guys know better than anyone, our history is complicated, and so the events that Mike and the group are putting together here, and Justin and Michelle, it's very important. And as president of OOL, I'm happy to be a part of it, and I think we can do a lot of good things together. So my name is Mark Howansky. I'm president of the organization of Defense of Lemkivshchyna, and what I want to do is tell you guys what we do and what it might offer you. I think it's a nice connection to what you're already doing in your genealogy searches. So with that, as you know, Lemkos, who called themselves Rusins, usually, started to come to America in the late 1800s, and they formed fraternals like UNA. They formed a lot of our churches, a lot of the organizations that exist today, banks, halls like this one. So Lemkos and the people from Galicia were one of the first Ukrainians to come to America. Later, in 1933, after the devastation of World War I, the Lemkos realized, they said, our people back home, they're really poor, they're really uneducated, we need to help them. And the origins of OOL were to really help the people back in Krayu, as they would say, back home. So, as Justin said, the first meeting was in 1936, but the organization actually started in 1933. The organization started in 1933, and the idea was to spread education throughout the region, and they supported the Prosvita reading rooms. You guys are familiar with Prosvita reading rooms? They were pro-Ukrainian, and they were actually helping fund getting the books from Ukraine, from Lviv, to the Lemko region. That was the beginnings of OOL. And in 1936, they had their first official congress in Philadelphia, and that's when OOL was born. And our people knew that publication was very important, so OOL was publishing something called the Lemko Bell, and then something called the Lemko News, and today we have something called Lemkivshchyna magazine, which I'll talk about later. Then, when communism kind of relaxed in Poland in the 1950s, you had an influx of people from the Lemko region in Poland. So in the 1970s and 1980s, OOL really grew in numbers, and was probably at its heyday, I would say, at the 1980s is when OOL was at its biggest point, at least number-wise. Today, we're formally registered as a nonprofit called the Organization Defense of Lemkivshchyna. We also have a museum in Stanford, which I'll talk to you about a little bit. That's a picture of the first Congress there in 1936, you can see, and these are the presidents throughout time, and I was elected in 2013, so it feels like time's flying by, but I'm the new guy on the block. And I'm the first president who was not born in Lemkivshchyna. I was born in America. My father was born in Lemkivshchyna, my mother was born in Lemkivshchyna, and my parents were deported during Acts of Islam. And they came to America in the 60s. They met in Yonkers, New York, and I was born shortly thereafter. So what are the goals of OOL? We are a pro-Ukrainian organization. We identify as Ukrainian. We believe Lemkos are a part of the bigger Ukrainian nation. We'll talk a little bit about that. We know it's complicated, the identity issue. But our goal is to promote Ukrainian culture, but we also want to support Lemko-specific things. So it's very important for us to support things that are specific to Lemkos, our specific culture, our clothes, our songs, our dialect. We try to support them, because no other Ukrainian organization does that. And at the end, I'll talk about why OOL. There's so many organizations. There's UNA, there's your churches, there's SUM Plus, there's all these other organizations where maybe you guys are already involved with, and why should you join something else? And I think the answer is, the main answer is that we focus on the Lemko specific, the unique aspect of being a Lemko Ukrainian. And we're looking at the people from Poland, Slovakia, that the other Ukrainian organizations, that's not a main focus for them. And for you guys who may be from that area or a particular interest in that area, that's a reason maybe to get more involved with us. So, this is our board. We had our last elections last year in Passaic. Typical board structure with branches. At one point we had over 20 branches. Now we have 6, 7 active branches, and a lot of branches that are dormant. 1 or 2 people who help out but don't do the annual meetings and other things. So, as most immigrant organizations, not even just Ukrainian organizations, there's a lot of struggle to keep this structure alive. So I'll talk about my ideas around that too. But we have 6 branches there in New York, Yonkers, Passaic, Irvington, New Jersey, mostly New York and New Jersey. And that's why I'm here, because we used to have a branch here, and we basically, our first Lemkos came here, and I feel like there's still a lot of interest here. So I'm here to maybe renew and refresh what we do and bring it back to this area. So some pictures of our branches. And so what kind of things do we do? I told you what our goals were. Well, we do lecture series. We're trying to do a lot more in English now. We bring people in from Ukraine or Poland and talk about issues that are important to Lemkos. So we started something called the Coffee Talk series that we take around to different areas. We also promote Lemko culture. Mike Budik has a fantastic collection of Vervinchek art, as you guys know, and we partnered with him to do a lecture in our museum in Stanford. So it's something that we'll continue to do and build on. And maybe other Lemko artists like Nikifor that we want to promote and educate people about. We also talk about our Ukrainian Lemko style pisanki. Who here makes pisanki? And who here does it Lemko style? So that's great. That's fantastic. We have people in our organization who do this a lot and are experts in this, and they help us run workshops in different areas that are very popular, very popular. Also this year, as Mike mentioned during today's session, it's the 70th anniversary from the Akcja Wisła, the deportations within Poland. I think it's very important that more people know about this. Ukrainians need to know about this, and the whole world needs to know about this. It's a little bit, I would say, almost shameful that even some of our own family members don't know the full history. Our parents and grandparents didn't want to talk about it. Our parents and grandparents were too busy building their life in America. They were too busy trying to make a better life for us. And they're not really criers. They're tough people. So they really weren't talking about this. But it's important that people know it. So one of my goals is to create programs to help people know about it. And we have fantastic organizations that exist, like the Ukrainian schools, SUM, Scouting Organization, Plus, UNA has branches. So we're partnering with them, and we're giving lectures about Akcja Wisła. And over there you have survivors from Akcja Wisła. That's John Liva, who was 13 years old when he was deported, so he remembers, and he's still around. So we need to take advantage of that, because they're not going to be around for much longer. So we're bringing these people to the community. They're telling their stories. Our members are giving lectures, and it's just one of the things we're doing, and we're trying to do more. And I'd love to be able to bring it to this area as well. We also do humanitarian aid to various places. With the war in Ukraine being a major issue, we had a big clothes drive to send clothes over 1,500 pounds, and particularly we focused on the Luhansk Lemkos. Are you guys familiar with the Lemkos who live in Luhansk? No? Okay, so Akcja Wisła and the deportations were a horrible part of Lemko history. But in 1945-46, some Lemkos who were deported east during the quote-unquote voluntary exchanges ended up in eastern Ukraine. Some of them went to Siberia, some of them went to other horrible places, but some of the Lemkos ended up in Luhansk. They kept their Lemko cultures. They even ran a Vatra there for years. And that is the exact area where the war is happening today, where the Russian-supported army came in. So these poor Lemkos were terrorized 70 years ago, and then now they're living in a second time. And they tend to be Ukrainian nationalists, so they were targeted by the Russians. A lot of them were killed. And so these people had to flee from that area, and we have contacts in Ukraine direct contacts who go to these communities and help give them clothes and food. A lot of them don't want to pose for pictures, but these are some of the pictures we have. So we're doing real things, getting real results with people, to people who need it.
Mark, did they stay there, or did you have to relocate some people because of the war?
A lot of them left. So a lot of them left. Some of them tried to kind of stay local and wait it out and come back, but a lot of them are now in Western Ukraine or in Kiev. So that Vatra, I don't know if it'll ever happen again. I mean, that community might be broken. I mean, it's sad. It's sad, and it's the same people twice, which is even worse. And that's another reason why these stories have to be told, because history is repeating itself because people aren't remembering. So anyway, we also go to the churches in the Lemko region, who, as you know, these churches are beautiful. They're mostly wooden. A lot of them are deteriorating under Polish rule. They weren't taken care of. But there are pockets of Lemkos who are trying to maintain these churches. And there are groups who come from Ukraine to help rebuild the cemeteries, maintain the cemeteries. There's a woman from Toronto who has a particular interest in Czestochowa, because that's where she's from. So we give money. We give real aid to these people to help them do this work. And we know the people, so it goes to the right people. It's not going through some corrupt ex-Soviet channel. It's going to people on the ground. And these are, those are some OOL members on the left. And here's a Czestochowa with a new plaque that was funded with all the family members in Canada who gave money back. We also fund official centers such as the Ukrainian Community Center in Przemyśl or Przemyśl, tomato, as you said. And then Błażejowski was a priest, a Lemko priest, who moved to Ukraine, and he is a famous iconographer. So there's a museum of his works in Lviv. We also donate money to help support these institutions. We also do commemorations and protests. So this year is the 70th anniversary of Akcivistla. So there's something going on in New York City today, or at a branch level. Last week there was in Passaic and Yonkers, and we're going to do something at a national level in October. So we're doing educational and cultural commemoration events. And on the right there is when the Holodomor Memorial was unveiled in Washington. Maybe some of you heard about that last year. We financially supported it, and we were also down there. Those are some of our members marching in the parade to unveil it. Something that has been very successful in the last couple of years is taking our information and going to festivals that already exist. We did one in Primrose last year, so that's probably the closest we came to here. But we go to the festivals that exist. We go to the Soyuzilka Festival, and you can see Justin over there and Mike and Primrose. And these are some of our ladies in New York, and these are ladies from Lemkivshchyna. So we're trying to educate people using structures that already exist, such as these festivals. And it's been very successful. So again, we'd love to do something out here in Pittsburgh. Lemkos like to have a good time. You guys all know that, right? And you saw one shot of a peddling beer a couple minutes ago, so this is proof. All of our branches love to organize dances. This is a Volanka New Year's dance, so the Lemkos are still organizing a lot of dances.
I never signed the photo release form. Yeah. How did I end up in your presentation?
I can see you're trying to look away.
Yeah. That was the night before the Boyko Zabava, so I didn't want to start any rivalries.
Good stuff, good stuff. Again, you know, we try to organize social outings at a soccer game, at a Devils game. You can see our name was up on the board. I know tonight Pittsburgh plays, so I'm sure a lot of guys people are rooting for Pittsburgh. But at a branch level, we have a lot of things going on. We even did a fishing trip this year, and it was amazing how many Lemkos love to go outside and be out in the woods. So we like to have a good time. One thing we've been doing for a long time, it's a fundraiser, but it's also something that people enjoy, is to go out caroling. So I would do this at a branch level. And you can see me with my little boy there, my daughter out at Irvington. So we have a good time doing it. It brings us some money, and the people we go to enjoy it. So I think also, if we could get a branch going here in Pittsburgh, it's something we can kind of add to the local color. I don't know, does anyone do caroling out here in Pittsburgh? Sure. Churches and the... Okay, great. You know, so it's a great tradition. And the biggest, festival-wise thing we do every year is the Lemko in Ellenville, New York. It's the last weekend before 4th of July this year. We bring in artists from Europe. We've had artists from Poland and Ukraine, from Canada, and we also do information sessions. But it's basically at a resort, summertime festival, pig roast, soccer tournament, just all around good time. So I invite everybody to come out that weekend and come relax with us at Lemko USA. We publish a magazine quarterly, and this year we just started an e-version, which I'm very proud of. So we've been publishing this magazine for also something like 50 years, and it's a nice magazine that has content in Ukrainian and English. It talks about things we're doing, talks about things that are going on all around the world from a Lemko standpoint. We also have a foundation arm, which is technically another organization, but we work very closely with them, the Lemko Research Foundation, and their goal is to do publications. So the books have been mentioned multiple times. You can buy them off our website, and they're some are in English, some are in Ukrainian, and great resource for history. And I know Justin and Mike have talked about these books a lot in the past, so I encourage you guys to go on our website and give a look. Zaka Zonia is written in English, scattered, we've talked about a couple times in English, so maybe of particular interest. Also, from a genealogy standpoint, LRF went out and brought these books to America. We're the ones that brought them here. These encyclopedias, the memory books of the deportations in 44 to 45. We also had the idea to get the electronic rights for it. So if anybody wants just their couple pages from their villages, we'll do that for you. And that's our people doing it. It's literally me or someone else who's scanning it, translating it, whatever. Have any of you taken advantage of those memory books, the pages yet?
Mark, I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry. The books are primarily the Lemkivshchyna, the math boundary.
Right.
Are there any plans to actually just complete the series and offer all Ukrainians or Lithuanians that were deported in 1945?
That's a really good question. Yaroslava Halik, she took on this project herself. This is her dream. I think it's something we can talk to her about. She went through the archives and compiled all this. Theoretically, she could continue to go into the other regions in Poland that were relocated. So that's something to talk to her about. But I don't know of any plans yet, but I'll talk to her about it. I actually met her at Lemkivshchyna last year. So, and there's also a encyclopedic dictionary of Lemkivshchyna, which we can also just scan and send pages that are of particular interest to you, or you can buy the whole book. The set of the volumes, we sell them for $130 for all three or $50 each. I mean, they're really unique books that you can't get anywhere else. And as I mentioned before, we have a few rooms, 2 rooms, in the Ukrainian Museum in Stamford, Connecticut. There's a seminary there. They have a festival in September. And there's 2 rooms within the museum that focus on Lemko things. So there's models of Lemko churches you can see there. There's Lemko clothes such as, oh, it's gone already. There was the beautiful Lemko outfit that was here before. We have similar things in our museum. So again, if anyone's in the East Coast, you're welcome to come visit. And structurally, we kind of are in a unique spot, just like Lemkos are. We're borderline people. Our multiple countries have crossed across our borders throughout history. So it's probably not surprising that we are a member of the Ukrainian Congress Committee, and we're also a member of SWULO, which is the Lemko organization. So we're a member of the Ukrainian Congress Committee, just like UNA is, umbrella organization that's doing work for Ukrainian issues. We fully support UKK, and we work with them to get them to look at our issues. And we're also a member of the World Federation of Lemko Ukrainian organizations. So there are Lemkos in Ukraine, obviously. There are Lemkos in Poland. There are Lemkos in USA and Canada. But maybe less obvious, there are Lemkos in Serbia and Croatia. So there are Lemkos all over. And that's another reason why OOL is unique. We are kind of like the Ukrainian gypsies of the world. We're all over the place. And our next World Congress is in Lviv this summer, so I'll be going there to meet with all these heads and talk about Lemko-specific issues, such as getting recognition and reparation for Wisla. That's another thing we're involved with. There are vodkas in all these countries. My family is from Virginia. My father is from Virginia. So the Virginia vodka is particularly close to my heart. That is the one vodka that's in Lemkivshchyna, in the Lemko lands. So we obviously support it. I was there last year. Those are some of the heads of the other country organizations. On the left, those are some members from Yonkers, New York, some Americans, and Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. And I actually rang a memorial bell to honor some of the Nazi Wisla survivors. So one thing that we want to do is give people access to go to these festivals. So we're talking about doing heritage tours. And is anyone interested to go visit Lemkivshchyna? Has anyone been to Lemkivshchyna, first of all? A few, okay. Would anyone else like to go to Lemkivshchyna, to Lemko land? See, there's a demand for this. I know there is. But the key is to work with the local people and put together an agenda that's appealing to you guys, so informative and fun. So that's something we're going to work on. Mike and I have batted around some ideas as well to combine the genealogy aspect. So this will happen, the heritage tours. So just really quick, what are the things we're struggling with? Our membership is getting older. I'm the first president born in America, like I said. A lot of our members are passing away. I have been president for 4 years. I don't want to tell you how many funerals I've been to. It's really not pleasant. So it's a thing we have to deal with. But the question becomes: are we needed for the next generation? And if we're not needed, we're not needed. But I really believe we are needed. I think people want to know. People want to know where they're from. This conference is proof. It's 70 people here today. People want to know where they're from. And people want to get more than just the knowledge. They want to get the hands-on experience. They want to sing the songs, hear the language. They want to see the clothes. They want to go there. So they want to support the old structures. Some people are into politics. They want to get politically active. So that's why I'm involved. And the key is to do it in a modern way, just like Yuri said. The world is changing. So we need to use new media. We're doing more on the internet. We have a Facebook page. We do a lot of email. We have a YouTube channel. So we're using these new channels. We also have to change the way things are done. A lot of people don't want to sit in meetings, for 3 hours. Back in the day, everything rotated around the fraternals. People went to church and then they hung out together all day Sunday. So it was natural to have the branches form that way. So we have to think differently. People are busy, so we do a lot of email type things. And I'll tell you, we start something called a virtual membership, where you can just pay your membership and you'll get the emails, you'll get the information, and then if you want to do more, you can. But it's not branch specific, to start. So also people moved out of these centers. The old centers have spread out, so there's people all over the place. We have Lemkos in Arizona, Lemkos in Nevada. The branch model is tough to do if you only have people, a couple people in each place. So people need English. So we're doing a lot more in English now. We're trying to do everything bilingual. And then, the Rusin issue is something that I feel is important to address. I mean, I feel like I'm out here in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of people who consider themselves Rusins. My position is that people are going to identify how they want to identify. If they came over before Ukraine was popular, and they might not understand what Ukrainian means, and you might want them to be Ukrainian. You might tell them they're Ukrainian. Their culture might be the same as ours. Their religion might be the same as ours. Or their clothes might be the same as ours. But if they don't feel it, they don't feel it. So that's not my goal. I don't think our goal should be to convert people. But I think what's important is that there's a lot of narratives in the Rusins who say that Ukrainians are somehow bad. We're pushy, or we're trying to change people. And my goal is to tell our story in a positive way. I know my family is Ukrainian because they wanted to be Ukrainian. They believe in the Ukrainian nation. They want to be part of the Ukrainian nation. And it sounds like a lot of people here are the same way. So my goal is just to tell the story in a positive way and let people choose. And if people are bad-mouthing or creating some type of myths that the Ukrainians are fascist or boogeyman or trying to trick people into being Ukrainian, dispel those myths. But tell our story in a positive way, and then let people choose. And listen, let's be honest. The bigger problem is not Ukrainian versus Russians. That's not the bigger problem. It's assimilation. This culture is dying. Our people, this culture is dying, so we all want to save it. The Russians want to save it too. And we want to save it. So there's probably more ways to work together there is than to squabble. So, I personally think we need to tell our story in English, in a positive way, factually based, and then, people will decide for themselves. And our Lemkos were smart people. They knew what they were doing, so they knew that joining the Ukrainian nation was a smart path for them and a way to survive. And then, I talked about this before. Why another organization? We're the only one that has a Lemko focus. The Ukrainian organizations, they're looking at the whole country. They might have specific aspects they're looking at, but we're the only ones that are focusing on Lemkos. We also have Lemkos outside of the borders of Ukraine, so that's unique. So that's another reason that we need to exist. And we're authentic. I mean, our membership base are mostly born in Poland or Ukraine. 90%. Very few members are born in America today. Obviously, I want to change that and keep us going, but we are authentic. So if anybody wants to feel Lemko stuff, just come to one of our meetings. You'll hear the Bashida, you'll hear the singing. I mean, it's pretty real, and it's very cool. We're in a unique time. We have strong connections, like I talked about, both in the U.S. and in Europe. And for anybody who wants to expand beyond just the books, just beyond the lectures, and really feel it, that's what we bring. And we have tangible connections. So we're doing real ground level work. So if you want to make an impact, you want your dollar to go someplace and make an impact, we can help do that. And I think the world needs to know the Lemko story. I don't think it's really told well enough. I don't think Ukrainians know it. I don't think our own families know it well enough. And I think we need to document it and tell it in a clear way. So I believe that that's why OOL is important, and that's why we need to keep on working on it, and that's why we need to keep growing it. So I talked about the new membership option, and I love working with the Lemko people because yes, we're an organization, we have structure, we have bylaws, but down home, Lemkos are down-to-earth people. I'll give you an example. When I was elected, the president from New York said to me, how many of you speak Ukrainian? I'll tell you in Ukrainian first. So, Marku, gratuluję тебе, що ми будемо вас підтримувати, але як ти не добре зробиш, ми тобі Damo potupi, this isn't a normal meeting. So he said, Mark, congratulations, we're going to support you, we hope you do the best, but if you screw up, we're going to kick you in the butt, and we're going to pick a new one. And that's Lemko. It's like, they speak their mind, and they mean it. And you know what? He's got my back the whole time, and he was telling me what he really thought. So it's great. And why I'm telling you this is a lot of organizations struggle with moving to the next generation. Well, I give these guys credit. They live through a lot. A lot of them don't even know what a computer is. But they said, Mark, if you think virtual membership is important, let's do it. So at our last meeting, we voted and we put in a virtual membership option. So now it's in the bylaws now. You can join for 20 bucks a year and you'll get on the list and you'll get the emails and you're a member of OOL. And there's a way that out of a certain number of virtual members, you can pick one delegate. So there's structure around it, but they said go for it. A lot of other organizations, the old timers would say, forget it, Dr. Monger, you can't do it, the world's gonna fall apart. I give these guys a lot of credit. So my goal here is if any of you are interested, you can sign up today and you can become a virtual member and you'll start getting these benefits. You get the emails, you'll get the electronic version of the magazine, and if you want the paper version, it's a little bit more. That's $35. But if you want the e-version, it's $20 a year, and you can sign up today. And my dream would be is if we can get a branch over here, if we can get a critical mass of 10 people and maybe form a branch. And really, what does a branch have to do? Well, technically, you have to run a meeting once a year. So bare bones, you have to run a meeting once a year. And you have to have your elections and pick your board. But you can combine that with a social event, what have you. So one event a year. And to be honest, most of the branches, they run a meeting and then they do one big thing. It might be a dance, it might be a coffee talk or whatever. So that would be the expectations. Run one thing, whatever you think is interesting. A Pissinka workshop, whatever. And Christmas caroling, we asked them all to do, but that's actually not even a hard requirement. That's if you want to. And then the branch president sits on the national board. That's the connection. And what that brings you, if you have a branch here, you'll get voting rights at our Congress, so you'll get more of a voice at the national level. And you'll manage your own money, and you can also get access to your local credit unions. You can use our 501c3 number, and then you can get access. So those are some of the technical things, but really, it's just a more effective way for us to do work on a local level. So, I don't know, I mean, are any of you guys thinking about joining or interested? I won't hold you to it, but...
How many of you are from this area? Western Pennsylvania. The other parts included.
Yes. So you got your work cut out for you, it looks like.
Along with the UNA branch, please. Don't just cut it out loud.
So, but even if the branch here is a dream, but I think if anyone's interested, the virtual membership is something you can do today, and it's year to year. If you're not happy with it, do it for 1 year and then you don't like it. But I firmly believe we have to offer something. The old timers would say, "Why do you join something potreba?" Because you must. They guilt you into it, but you must. That's not the way things work anymore. It has to be, an arrangement. So. Yeah, perfect. All right. So listen, I took up a lot of your time. Does anyone have any questions for me? Yeah.
How do you market this to people who might not be 100% Lemko? Like for me, I'm half Pennsylvania Dutch.
That's fine. I mean, listen. My goal is to tell you what the organization offers. If you're interested in any of it, go for it. I mean, please. You don't have to be Lemko. And look, the world's changing. The 100% Lemko population, it's very rare. I mean, most people aren't 100% Lemko anymore in America. It's just, that's the way the world is changing. So, for me, that's not a problem at all. If you are interested in any of this, please get involved. I also am consciously trying to do things in English because a lot of people, that's a barrier. The Cyrillic language, the Ukrainian language, they don't know it. So I'm trying to do a lot more in English. So Just anything that's interesting to you, welcome. We have a YouTube channel called Lemko OOL. So, like we're videotaping this. This might be on YouTube, but any of our performances. Like our Lemko Bakas, they're all on the YouTube channel. Some of our lecture series, we put them on the YouTube channel. So we're trying to record things because that's another thing. Recording these things for future generation is important, especially when we're talking to some of the older generation who have a lot of experiences. It's really important to capture that knowledge and document it so people can watch it in the future. I mean, I'm really big on that. So the YouTube channel is one example of how we're doing that. Just type Lemko OOL, you'll find our YouTube page, you'll find our Facebook page. Any other questions? Yeah, that's great. So I'll be happy. Thank you to Mike and everyone else, Justin and Michelle for having me. And I look forward to having a couple of drinks with you guys and talking some more. Thank you.